So in today's video, I'm gonna talk about fan art artists, the problem I'm having with the community artists, and just addressing everything, but I'm gonna do it with one of the best people I know that could explain everything, MatPat, in the Game Theories channel. I figure, like, this is the person who explains it the best. All right. The reason I'm reacting to MatPat video is because I feel like a lot of the FNAF community and a lot of artists basically will definitely listen more to MatPat than me. So I figured let's get the best person to explain and say this.
Isn't me trying to condone any mistakes. It's just trying to show how easy it is for some of this stuff to unintentionally slip through the cracks. You know, the culture around fan art has changed a lot over the years. This channel is going on 8 years old. I'm like the middle-aged dad of YouTube, right? Young early days of game theory, if I used fan art, I would actually get messages from the artists saying that it was so cool that I had used their art in a video.
I
Nothing
know.
else, just, hey, thanks. Glad you liked it.
That's
It
what
was
I thought
sort
would
of like
happen.
how people treat meme templates nowadays. If you're using a meme, you have no idea who the originator of that template was, but there was an originator. It's also worth mentioning that back during the first 2 to 3 years of game theory, years of game theory, mind you, I wasn't monetizing any of my videos.
Yeah.
So I wasn't making money off of anyone else's fan art because I literally wasn't making any money for myself. The channel had almost 1 million subscribers before I turned monetization on.
So this is exactly why I'm turning monetization off on any fan art reaction videos, and to take it even further, since MatPat is such a big channel, I'm actually turning monetization off on this video right here. Because if I'm making a profit on it, then probably I'm breaking some rules. So I figured the best way to protect myself is demonetizing all of this, which makes it completely fine.
Very rarely am I afraid to hit publish on a video. Sure, there are theories that I know are going to end up being controversial, but at the end of the day, they're all just meant for fun. There are a few out there that are about actual real topics that matter. The stuff about how loot boxes and mobile games hijack your brain, but overall, 95% of the time, my theories are never meant to be taken seriously. Just to get you to think about your favorite games and movies critically, or through some different perspective. At the end of the day, does it really matter? It has always been that it doesn't. That it's more about listening to the evidence and hearing a good story. Some people get really mad about that philosophy. And so I'd like to remind you that this is a show that once calculated the length of Luigi's hoo-ha. Don't get me wrong. I take my work and my research in all of these episodes really seriously. But at the end of the day, it's all meant for entertainment, for fun, with a little dose of education on the side.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, that's the truth. I do this for fun. I like having fun. I like playing video games. And I mainly 100% do this for fun. And with a little bit of education out there, because it's just the way I am. It's just the way I am, and I feel like I want especially children or anyone under the age of 20 to be ready for life. And it's that dad in me that I just want to teach you so you could grow.
And today, I'm legitimately nervous to publish this video. Because today, it's talking about stuff in the real world. Real stuff that really matters and that I take really seriously.
Okay, first of all, we all know the channel Game Theory, guys. And if you want to see what the video is really talking about, for example, right here, I never take somebody's full video. I take a little bit here, a little bit there, and I credit the channel. So you could go over there because you're never going to see the full video or everything it has to say in my channel. You have to go to their channel. So that's a very, that's the way I do it when I do reaction videos. So let's keep going.
Because if there's one complaint that I always see in online threads about why this channel makes them so mad and why they hate me so much, It's that I steal fan art. And I've never really publicly addressed that. So today is all about fan art. How we do things here when we're working on
Oh
theories,
my
the
God.
steps we go to try and avoid any unintentional issues, and how you, as a fan artist, can actually be better empowered to protect your own work. Because honestly, there aren't many resources out there. Image on your fridge, or you slap it on the desk at your office, you're fine. But the
Okay.
second you publish that image, it becomes a different story.
Oh,
Just take a look at any stock
that's a
image
problem.
website like Getty Images, which is a business built on legally owning the rights to every image in their archive. And
Okay.
you'll notice that most of the images of the Eiffel Tower, even the ones with low light, don't
Okay.
feature the lights on the building turned on. And this is where things get tricky. As if they weren't overly complicated enough. You see,
Yeah.
if you publish a piece of artwork that features a character like Mangle or Mario or Mewtwo or heck Elsa, and you don't own the copyright to that character, then publishing that fan work is technically a copyright violation.
Oh.
Which merits a huge question: what counts as publishing? Now, obviously, publishing includes things like putting it in a book that ends up
Okay.
in Barnes and Noble, but publishing actually has a much broader definition in the legal sense.
Oh, hell no.
Publishing, in the broadest sense of the word, just means causing something to become public or
Yeah.
making it publicly known. That means that everything from printing up and handing out a bunch of flyers on the street to, you guessed it, posting it online is covered. It doesn't even matter if it's a non-commercial type of posting. Posting fan art non-commercially on your blog or a site like Tumblr or Instagram
Okay.
or Twitter all count as publishing that image. And if you're thinking to yourself, wow, that affects a lot of people.
Facts.
Yeah, it
Facts.
does. You're absolutely right. Technically speaking, every fan artist on Tumblr and DeviantArt and
Oh,
Pinterest
wow.
and Pixiv and their own independent blog, they are technically violating copyright every time they post a new sketch of an existing character that's not transformative enough to be considered fair use. I know.
Wow.
I know that sounds unbelievable, and that every fan artist out there is lighting their torch and rummaging for their proverbial
Facts.
pitchfork to come after you right now. But first off, don't kill the messenger.
Don't
here,
kill the
guys.
messenger.
Legally, this is the truth.
It's
Based
the
on
truth.
the lawyers that I've spoken with and the legal papers that we've read, that is the letter of the law. But
Yeah.
the letter is obviously only half the story. Considering, of course, that the prisons across the country aren't filled with Rainbow Dash fan art Endy modelers. Though it'd be pretty funny if they were. What are you in for? Killed a guy. You? I drew a pink pony very accurately. In actual...
Okay, so let me address this. This is very troubling to me, and I believe ignorance is a choice. And I decided that's, as an example, I'm educating myself on fan art, copyright, and all that. And this is exactly, like I said, ignorance is a choice. And we should always learn to grow and be better. That's why I love doing educational stuff like this. So this is why, unfortunately, I'm gonna completely abandon doing videos from Discord. That's it. I'm done. Unless it's 100% just see the death fan art thing, I'm done. I'm done. So to be honest, just to avoid legal problems and avoid anything in the future, unfortunately, I'm not gonna do any more fan art videos. And the artists in the Roblox community have brought this basically to the light because they completely hate me because of this. But I do want to do better, and that's why I'm educating myself and you as well.
Practice, the situation favors fan artists a lot more than you might first think.
Okay.
As you can see pretty much everywhere on the internet, it's
Yeah.
really rare for copyright holders to try and enforce their copyright. The only instances where you see this actually happen tend to be when a brand feels that the art that's being made really misrepresents their IP. One really convenient example of this in the gaming world is Blizzard, who issued DMCA takedowns across a bunch of different fan art in efforts to stop people from making how do I put this nicely? Renditions of Overwatch characters in compromising situations.
So there you go. You
Loving
might
each
get
other just
sued,
a
bro.
bit too much for their liking. Basically, Blizzard wanted people to skip from Rule 33 to Rule 35 in the Internet Handbook, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
And you can imagine just how effective Blizzard was at accomplishing
Yeah.
that goal. Not
In
that I
court, the
would
one who
personally,
has more
just
money is
doing
always going to win.
research. For a friend. Anyway, according to the guidelines from Blizzard's policy on fan-made creations, they cracked down in order to, quote, maintain and protect the image of their games.
That could
They
happen
also
at
said
any moment.
Blizzard requires that productions maintain the T rating that has been given to its products by...
So the thing about it is, if you take something that's rated for children and you turn it into anything that has to do with mature content, and a company, a big corporation does notice this and they don't like your approach, you are subject to being taken to court and or settling outside of court, which is a lot of money, one way or another. So this is the danger with you getting too popular with doing the wrong type of art. And what could I tell you? The law is crazy.
ESRB. And I get that, right? It makes sense. Well, it might have been kind of a futile effort to remove sexy time from the internet. Legally speaking, they're entirely within their legal right to protect their brand. But speaking of legal rights, it is a two-way street. Even though a company owns the rights to its characters, you, as the fan artist, own the right to your individual piece of fan art.
There you go.
So going all the way back to our example of FNAF fan art, which there's a lot out there.
There's a lot.
If you drew a picture of Freddy and the cupcake,
Got it.
are the actual rights for that image.
There you go.
Scott owns the copyright to the character, but you own the copyright to that specific image. So you can't publish it, you don't own the rights to the character, but Scott also can't publish that image because he doesn't have the rights to your artwork. You are both caught. As it turns out,
Wow.
no one really has the rights to publish that image. Unless, of course, you both agree to it, but good luck there. Scott doesn't talk to anyone.
Wow.
Except for Dawko. Probably his secret son. I don't know. He talks to Dawko like all the time.
So to take legal matters into my own hands, to take it even further, I am demonetizing each and every video that I use fan art. Especially the videos of Discord fan art, because legally, I always got to protect myself. Ain't nobody looking out for me except myself. And at the end of the day, I only got one problem in my whole channel, and it's a fan art problem. Nothing else in my whole channel. It's just the one. So I want to deal with that one problem.
Money. You see, the other big complicating factor in all of this isn't whether someone is really infringing on their copyright, but whether they're actually making money while doing the infringing.
Exactly.
In the United States, criminal copyright laws prohibit you from actually using someone else's intellectual property for your own financial gain.
Got
This
it.
means that when you post your fan art online, you're not going to face any criminal liability. Fan artists, you are good to go. Sketchy nerd t-shirt companies that are selling unlicensed Nintendo merch, though, you might not be so safe.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence.
Likewise, if you're selling your own posters of your fan art images, well, that could land you in some legal hot water as well. And I know that this is the most sensitive subject around fan art because of all the commission that artists earn by doing fan art made to order for other members of their fan communities.
Yeah.
I'm not condemning anyone. I'm not passing any sort of judgment on anyone else's online business. As someone who uses a lot of online images of other people's IP,
I know.
I'm kind of digging my own grave here as well.
Facts.
This whole topic just makes me uncomfortable.
I know.
Especially since that's still not the end of this whole story. There's still only a select couple of ways that you could actually be sued, even if you did commercialize your fan art.
Oh,
the company
God.
would need to show in court that your art had damaged their company in some way, using
Facts.
the naughty Overwatch picture example.
Oh!
again.
So there you have it. That's why it's you're basically, as an artist, you're really in danger of these companies going after you if you're representing the company in ways that they do not approve. So if the company does not like how you... Actually, this happened not too long ago with anime characters being changed into what they changed the color of the anime character. You could look that up. And Japan just straight up started took the artist to court, or is in process of taking the artist to court, because they when they make their characters, they make them how they make them, and they didn't like those changes. So you gotta be straight up careful out there, because these corporations don't play games when it's about money.
In their case, Blizzard is trying to market their game Overwatch as a family-friendly experience for all players ages 13 and over. And so the brand may actually get hurt if the first thing that comes up when mom starts Googling Orisa is a bunch of
Oh no!
very family-unfriendly images.
So I barely started monetizing my channel. I haven't even monetized my channel for more than 6 months. My channel is really brand new. So this is the time for me to make these changes. Because as a growing YouTuber, I don't want to be facing legal problems in the future. So staying away from any type of artist or fan art, especially if I'm not paying, and especially if they're underage, it's just not legal, and it's just so messy that no. And I do get a lot of offers for fan art and all that, but unless the fan art is specifically of Seed of Death, and you specifically give it to me as a gift, or you give it to me as with your consent, then yeah. So submitting fan art, you're literally saying I consent just by submitting it, but it has to be about my particular character. That's why I'm stepping away from anything that has to do with artists, because it got brought up to the light, and it's the one problem I'm having with the community.
But there is a third angle, but it's one that requires a little bit more work from you. Fan artists, protect yourself using these 3 steps. First, check the policy of the sites where you're uploading your content, or double check your image use policies to ensure that the settings match how you want your art to be used. It'll help protect your artwork from unfair sharing, or at least it'll protect it a little bit better. 2, sign your work. And then 3, watermark that work so it can't be mistaken as official artwork or shared without your name being attached to it. And lastly, this isn't so much a step as it is a request. Give us the benefit of the doubt. I hope I've convinced you today that these sorts of mistakes aren't happening maliciously. I'm sorry that your work unfortunately got wrapped up in us continuing to try and learn how to best handle these nuanced situations. But hopefully it'll help empower all of us to deal with similar situations in the future. We'll finally have a better understanding of how to handle fan art. It's interesting, but the whole evolution of fan art online reflects some of the best and worst parts of online culture.
Facts.
All wrapped up in one. Fan art is, at its core, a reimagining of your favorite character or game, and it gives everyone a chance to show the world that their favorite story can be told through their own personal lens. And yeah, game theory as a show is itself a form of fan art, which is why I do take this stuff really seriously. Sometimes the original artist might not be comfortable with your interpretation. Like, I can't say I totally agree with all the online ships that I see on Wattpad, or the unbelievable number of children that I've apparently adopted over in those stories.
Facts.
But the thing about the internet is that it's all open to interpretation.
So yeah, this is a very difficult subject to follow, including any type of content creator, whether it's making art or YouTube or whatever you're making. This is so difficult.
But I'm on this learning curve just along with everyone else. I'm only human. Sometimes I use something without realizing it's fan art, and so do other people. If you see this happen, not just to me, but on the internet at large, try not to assume that the person is a thief or malicious or trying to take advantage of the little guy. The internet is just an enormous place, and there are billions upon billions of contributors everywhere. Save cancel culture for something else, something that really matters.
So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm stopping reacting to fan art. So guys, I'm sorry, but don't even submit anymore. It's not even, well, submit if you want to for everybody over there, but I'm gonna stop making videos about it. I'm literally gonna make my own thumbnails and literally learn from my mistakes and change the ways I do things. But yeah, I have no reason to have Discord. So if I ever go into Discord, it's probably just gonna say hi, and that's pretty much it. I never wanted to be in Discord anyway, so I figured, yeah. Why would I? I'm gonna leave the Discord link in my channel just so everybody could, go in there, know each other. I seen so many friendships be created through the Seed of Death community that I would hate to destroy that. I like seeing so many people and so many new friendships because I was a part of that, and that's pretty awesome. So, but I'm just gonna stay away from anything that has to do with art. Period. Period. I'm just gonna do my own thing and in the best way I possibly can. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope we all learned something today, because I sure did. Peace out, guys.
Baby, I'm almost there. Flying, but I don't care. You and I, we don't die.